Really
I have another
cool.
one. I wanna come out with an MSG like it's gonna be called MS Jesus. So I'm taking it a step further than what I already did because that's how much I like messing with people. I don't
Yeah.
really like messing with people. I do a little bit, yeah.
Yeah,
A
you
little bit's
do. It's
fun. I
okay.
mean, it's
You're
all
right.
right.
It's
You're
okay. We don't think any less of you.
It's so much fun though.
We might think a little more of you, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Welcome to Flavor Balance Heat, the podcast for hot sauce lovers and makers. I'm Spike.
And I'm Zach.
Today we're speaking with David Van Overeem from Hab Sauce out of Portland, Oregon. How you doing, David?
What's up, David?
I'm doing well.
I had a moment of panic recently because you might check into this. Facebook, and I can edit this out if you want, but Facebook suggested you as Davis.
Oh shit.
And it had your picture. And I was like, have I been calling him David all this time? And his name's Davis. So
it's an interesting way to start this out. Okay. So, okay. Not everyone knows this. And now more people will.
No, I can edit it out.
No, it's fine. I'm ready to come clean.
You have an alter ego?
I do. I Davis Cleveland is my rap name. I was a rapper from like 96 till I don't know 2014. I can still rap, but I don't pursue the music anymore. I'm a supporting artist in other groups and DJ. But Davis Cleveland was a whole other persona. And I made all sorts of music, a lot of dirty music, and some really great music. I mean, I had a lot of fun doing it. And the people who call me Davis usually have known me a lot longer.
Got it.
There's certain people in my wife's family that call me Davis now because my wife calls me Davis. It's always interesting. I was like, oh, you don't really know me as Davis, but that's okay. So yeah, if someone calls me David, it's because of that. They haven't known me as long. And even then, now my DJ name is Clavicle. It's DJ Clavicle, short for Radical Clavicle. So I have all sorts of other aliases. I have graffiti aliases that I won't share.
Well, that's a good
Sometimes life can be a little boring. You got to like spice it up, right?
That's it, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I do Spike, but a lot of people don't know this. My name's Christopher, Chris. But I hate that name. Always have. If somebody calls me Chris out of the blue, I know they've looked too far into who I am. It always makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I never liked David. And I especially don't like when people call me Dave. And yeah, only certain people can call me Dave, and I got to be close with them. Now I'm embracing it more, David. And I don't know. I think I got to a point where I was trying to get away from Davis. It was not just getting away from the name. It was just like growing up a little bit, changing my direction.
When I worked in restaurants, they knew me as El Buffalo. The guys in the back called me that because I went from being like this skinny kid. They called me Potrillo, a young, gawky horse. And then I gained a bunch of weight, got real heavy, and they called me El Buffalo because I was a big fat guy now. And so but when I left the restaurant business, I kind of left that behind and went with Spike, which I got actually a different way back when. I'll tell that story another time. But yeah.
Now they're starting to call me the Sauce Lord, and I
love that, man.
I'm loving it too. And I even I'll embrace that. That's a compliment. I even got a couple hats printed up. I was like, oh my God, I love that too much.
I've got a sticker. You sent me a sticker with it. I love it.
Yeah. Well, the Sauce Lord, it was all just kind of a joke. We were just kidding around. Like I had sent my brother my brother does a lot of my artwork for the sauces. But I was holding some bottles up, and he sent it back to me. Like he animated it up, and I was like, oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. Not very often do people say, hey, are you religious about? I'm like, no. I was expecting people to take it the wrong way.
Yeah.
And no one really
I'm sure there are people who take it the wrong way.
I'm sure they are, but they don't say shit. So
yeah.
Great.
Because they won't.
So Death Row hot sauce. You're on death row. What's your last meal? What hot sauce are you putting on it? It can't be yours, and it can't be either of ours.
not gonna be hot sauce. It's gonna be I'm gonna be eating some pho, and it's gonna be like some sort of chili crisp in there, or like crack sauce, with heavy fish sauce and chili oils or chili
Yeah.
like fresh chilies like serranos or Thai chilies. That's gonna be it right there.
That's awesome. So if you had to have a hot sauce on there because they just didn't have anything else, I'd like to, we're giving some love out to some brands that.
Oh well, shit! I would never put hot sauce on my pho. I
or
can't.
or a chili crisp that that you like that's not yours. I know yours looks good. I haven't had it yet. I can't wait to
It would
try it.
be Zindru's out of
Zindru's.
LA or Orange County. Yeah, they've got some chili crisp.
Awesome. All right,
Yeah,
Zindru's.
yeah,
I'll check that out.
Yeah, it's really good.
All right. So how about your hot sauce history? Have you always been into that spicy food? If not, how did you get into that? And then how did it progress into a hot sauce business?
Yeah, my earliest memory with spicy food would be I grew up in LA, and when we wanted to cool down in the summer, even in whenever, we would get a cucumber, take the skin off, cut it up top, and then hollow it out, and then we would put lime juice, salt, and tapatio, and that's how we would roll, and it was so delicious. I mean, I've been eating spicy food since I was a real little kid. With my mom's side of the family being of Latin descent, and my father being Dutch Indonesian. So I mean, we just had spicy food growing up.
Awesome. I'm from Riverside.
Okay.
So yeah, same wood of the necks.
Yeah, East LA.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So now, how'd you end up owning a hot sauce business?
I had my first daughter in 2016, and the plan was I would take a break from work. I worked for Nordstrom for years and did a little bit of everything. I mean, I had a record shop as well, but that didn't work out so well. I got away from it, and I decided I didn't love what I did. My wife, she really enjoyed her job at the time. She went back to work, and I stayed home with my daughter for a year. And during that time, I was trying to figure out what the hell I was going to do with my life, and I decided I was going to go back to school and be a coder. And I was about to turn in the paperwork and do all that shit, and I said, "Fuck that! I'm opening up a hot sauce business." Like that's how
this is fucking randomly.
Holy moly!
Yeah, like I was like making a lot of sauce that summer, and even before like my wife gave birth, we were having like hot sauce inducing parties because I was just growing a bunch of peppers and just barbecuing and making all sorts of good food. And so I was into it. And so it just clicked in my head. Like I'm just without doing any kind of market research, I'm going to open up a hot sauce business. And I had no idea how many hot sauce companies were in Portland. And I mean, I knew there were a few, but I didn't pay attention at the grocery store. It's just not something that was on my radar then. So I went right into it and just made some really generic labels. I probably have some. Oh shit, I have some right here. Like this was my first label. It's our smoked cherrywood, which we still sell.
One of my favorites.
It's super basic. I didn't think about the artwork involved. I just wanted it to be bold so people could see it. And I had like 3 flavors, maybe 4. It was the roasted habanero was the first. It was smoked cherrywood, high peach, and then the pineapple habanero. And back then I was roasting my pineapple, which I thought was really great until I really figured out like there's no way I'm going to be able to roast all this pineapple.
The big realization we all have.
Yeah, there's ways, but I don't want to. I was selling my friends hot sauce on the internet, on the internet, on Instagram, and posting it, and like people were just coming to my house and picking up sauce. People I hadn't seen for years were like, "I want some of your hot sauce," and I was like, "Cool." And then I went to a business program just to kind of learn some things and meet this market buyer, and he said, "Once you get this to market, I'll carry it in my store." And I was like, "Fuck yeah! I'm like, this is it. I made it." And, oh, the young me thinking that's all you had to do, you know, that's it, you're in. So I worked my ass off, got it all ready for market, submitted it to them, and got denied.
Oh,
Like, and I still, now that I look at the label, I totally know why, but I wasn't ready, and they knew it. And so he should have given me a little more guidance. But I think at that point I was like, this isn't gonna work out. You know, there's no way I can make enough money to afford to live. You know, without having the market on board. And then snapped out of it, of course, rebranded it, made it right, submitted it, and they took it. And by the time they took it, I was already getting into other stores too, so things were started picking up.
yeah. I mean, I gotta tell you, I'm stunned because I seriously thought you'd been in the restaurant business. You've got a chef's hand with the way you handle your sauces.
I was the maintenance manager, so I would fix the shit in the kitchen, and I would take things apart. So I knew how things worked, and they always needed my help. So the kitchen folks were always good to me, but I had never done anything in the kitchen. Kitchens have always been intimidating to me. I don't want to walk in there and go, you know, corner. You know, I'm not that guy. Like, I'm in the way, you know. I love to cook for my family. I don't want to cook for a bunch of people.
I mean, I'm absolutely floored. Seriously, that is amazing to me because I thought you had like serious training as a chef.
I fake it well.
Yeah, you certainly do. Holy moly!
Fake it till you make it.
Well, so what are the elements that make a great hot sauce?
That answer is so complex now.
Yeah, it is,
and forever changing. And I don't have the answer to that question, but I would say whatever you like. That's that's what it needs to be. Like, I'm not making sauce for you. It's what I'm making sauce for myself. So if you like it and you're making something that you want to eat, that's it. That's what you should be making. Who gives a fuck what everybody wants? I'm making dinner and we're all sitting here eating it. I don't care if you want, you know, it to be gluten free or not. I'm making it for me. And then if people just happen to really enjoy it, great. That's awesome. And I think that's the way to go.
awesome.
You might steer clear of it at times and do something different because you're like, okay, now what? But if you don't like it yourself, then what's the point?
Well, and Zach and I have both said that we don't love, right, Zach? We both said we don't love like every single sauce we come out with is not like the knock it out of the park sauce or.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at one point in time,
Yeah.
it was, you know what I mean? Like at one point in time, I thought it was the greatest fucking thing on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
But as I have evolved, as well as my palate, you know what I mean? Things change, and I don't love things as much as I used to. You know,
That happens a lot quicker now than it ever has too for me. Like there's flavors in my lineup that I'm just like ready to get rid of. That I know if I do, it's gonna make a bunch of people pissed. But
yeah,
you only have so much room. I mean, I don't know.
Room.
It's the ever, you know, everybody's got the same problem. Not enough room.
I don't have time to make another sauce. So I had to like get rid of something in order for me to have time to make that new flavor that I'm really messing with.
Yeah.
And I think that's important to come out with new flavors. It's not the markets, like the grocery stores hate it that you keep coming out with stuff because they're not going to carry it after a certain point, unless they're real cool. But I mean, what if that next flavor, that's how I think. What if the next flavor is the one? Not necessarily the blow up in your pocket money, but like the one that just tastes better than anything else. It might take people longer to like catch on, but what if it's the tastiest thing you've ever made? Like, and I feel like you probably feel the same way. Like you have so much to like experiment with still, and you're constantly discovering new things.
Yeah. I don't do the shopping. My wife does the shopping because I create new hot sauces, and we've got nearly 40, man. They don't want me to make more hot sauces.
So that's the rule then?
I mean, you know, I still do it, but I just do it in my head.
Your lineup is like ridiculous. It's awesome. You know.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Like you're one of the only.
I want to know where he keeps it all, man. Like seriously, I have a fucking 1,200 square foot warehouse space, and I couldn't keep 40 sauces in it. You know what I mean?
Believe it or not, contrary to popular belief, I'm pretty organized when I need to be. That's it. You know,
I myself, when it comes to space, I have a couple warehouses now and a small shop that I work out of mostly, but I have stopped producing, like mass producing certain things. There's certain flavors I have to, but I've like slowed it down, working with a smaller co-packer now, and purposely not working with the larger co-packers, just someone who like I could be really hands-on with and make these smaller runs. Because as you guys know, like when you co-pack, things change, and you can pick up that sauce that you've loved for years from the grocery store, and then you're like you get it home and you're like, man, they must have got a co-packer because this
Yeah.
ain't the same sauce.
Yeah.
But I'm trying my best to restructure how I do things and work more on a made to order basis for like accounts, like larger accounts, and just like I'm not going to keep this in stock until you're ready. If you're ready for this order, then we'll go into market or production. But for now, we're just going to have a smaller amount of it, less stuff on the shelves. If we run out and we're sold out of something, that's okay.
Yeah.
You know?
We're working towards that. We're doing a lot more micro batches now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just one and done for a year, and that's it.
Yeah,
Zach, you're doing that right now, aren't you?
What's that?
You're doing that right now. That's what you're working on for your year, right?
So no. Every year I do a limited release set
the
for
black
charity, basic. Yeah. Well, can't do a black label because my label's black now.
Yeah, he changed
Everyday
his label color to black, so it
white
screwed
label.
that whole deal.
Yeah, white label.
It's red.
We went with. Oh, actually, you know what? I have. I'll be right back.
Oh, do you have it? Oh, I saw this the other day. They look great. They're red labels now. Oh yeah. Which one's that one? I can't see it.
It's the Reaper fuzzy navel.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I got to get some of yours again. I haven't gotten any in a while. I need to get some of that chili crisp. It's out, right?
It is out, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Is it gonna focus? Nope.
Yeah, I can see it.
Oh yeah. I like that branding.
It's a
What made
great
you
one.
change? What made you change the branding?
Well, the label that you just showed, probably.
The old school.
Yeah, that's that whole logo is associated with the Hot Ones recall.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of animosity between me and that setup. So I wanted. Well, this is the red label is fucking camera. The red label is for the limited release now. Our black label looks kind of like that. But
Yeah.
it's black.
Yeah.
We just wanted to simplify it. We wanted to make it more shelf appearance. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Shelf presentable. You know,
Yeah.
If you have 15 different sauces with the same logo, it's the same exact color. It's the same exact. You know what I mean? The only thing that changes is the name. It creates a problem for people, I guess.
So, recipes. Do you have a go-to? I do every time. I mean, to the point where I fight against it a little bit. Do you have that?
I have in the past. It started out heavy tomatillo, and then it would go like lots of bell pepper for different styles. So if it was a tomatillo blend, it was a tomatillo blend. If it was a bell pepper blend, it was a bell pepper blend with and then kind of start from there and bring everything else in, depending on what pepper you're using. But now it's not. It's really kind of all over the place. And I'm trying to develop things that are different than what I'm doing before. I think I don't want to give people sauces that taste just like any other one of my sauces. So I'm gonna right now. I think going forward, you're gonna see a lot of different things coming from us. Yeah.
I love, so you are one of those people that comes at that like will just have something come out of left field that I'm not expecting. When I get
crisp.
Yeah, the chili crisp, man. I was talking to Zach about chili crisp 2 years ago now, at least. Probably 3. And I was wanting to make a chili crisp, but couldn't find where to figure out the process. I think now I know where we're at. We wouldn't be able to do it. It just wouldn't work where we're at right now. But eventually I think we're going to. But I was so happy to see you do it.
It was years in the making.
Oh,
And
that.
it was because it was a complicated process to get your mind out of the hot sauce idea.
Yeah.
And like, when it comes down to it, making hot sauce is pretty fucking easy. And because I knew exactly what to do, you know? And so going out of my comfort zone and doing something different, man, I had to focus and really, take notes and figure out exactly what I was doing wrong. Still, I mean, it's out now, tastes great, but like there are things I'm like, okay, I got to fix that. I got to fix this still. I
Yeah.
got to, even when it comes down to the jar, it's like I want a better jar.
That's every sauce, isn't it? I mean, really, when you do something, it's like you get it exactly right. You're in love with it for like a month or two, three. That third month, you're starting to have some doubts about a couple of things,
Mhm. Yeah,
That's every single sauce.
it is. It really is.
Yeah.
But yeah, the chili crisp, the process of it, just I've looked at it, and for me, just thinking, okay, so it's like going from being a chef to a baker, which it was what it was like going from chef to hot sauce maker. It's more like baking than it is like being a chef. And but it's a whole different mindset. You have to really divorce yourself of the whole mindset you had before, where you can change things on the fly and do this and do that.
Yeah.
And it looks like this is the same kind of shift you have to make, but in a different direction altogether.
The only way I was able to do it is because I'm not in the kitchen every single day anymore making my sauce. So I had enough time to be in the kitchen every day creating that sauce
Yeah.
and just focusing on these little test batches. I had other people working with me and we were making it together. It was harder to manage my people than it was, to have someone else take care of it and be the manager. I don't want to be a manager anymore. I've been in management and it sucks. I don't want to be that guy. I find it just draining, It takes away from my creativity and everything. And the only way I feel like I'm going to grow is to start handing some things over to other folks.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I've gotten to a place in our company where I can step back, and I haven't made sauce in a while, but our employees do.
Mhm.
But it's still hard, I'm still managing everybody. I still do the schedules, I do all that.
Yeah.
But as far as just being in the kitchen making the sauce anymore, I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, this is nice. I'm still very hands-on, so I'm like I'll be present on certain days
Yeah.
where and I'm still like ordering the ingredients, so it's not just some random, you know, ingredient going in or different. So I mean, and one day, years from now, hopefully I'm not having to do any of that either, and I can just focus on the creation of whatever we're doing.
There you go. That's the
So
goal.
on top of the creative side of being in the sauce business, I also enjoy being the one that makes the sauce.
Mhm.
I don't want to do it. I don't you know what I mean? I just want to make sauce. I don't want to deal with customers. I don't,
I
I
get it.
don't I don't want to do what you do. I want someone else to go do that shit for me. And I just
Mhm.
want to hang out in the kitchen.
See,
Wow.
I
Yeah.
get that. I understand that to where I don't want to be the one at the farmer's market tent anymore.
Exactly.
I don't want to be the guy having to talk. I love talking to people. I do a great job at selling my stuff, but I don't want to work every weekend especially at a farmer's market. I love going to the farmer's market, but I don't want to have to just be like in that position anymore. And there's great folks that will do it for us now. And then when you do end up at a show, it goes really well because people want to meet the maker, and you do better when you're the one selling it. But I'm at a point where I want to spend the weekend with my family. And I got two daughters now, and like I'm gone all week, and then I'm at an event doing all weekend sometimes, and it's just like it's too much. Like this time of year is going to be ridiculous. I mean, I was just gone for 7 days, like across the country. And I love being in the kitchen making stuff too, but not every single day.
Creating is the fun part for me too. I just can't. I worked in kitchens for so long that I just burnt out. I just don't even want to be in the kitchen working.
And especially when you're in the kitchen all day, which I still end up doing. I'll get home and then I don't want to cook dinner.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of works out right now because I can't eat a fucking thing. So oatmeal or eggs. Pretty simple.
I'll send you some broth.
There you go. I don't cook. I cook breakfast for my wife in the mornings, and I don't have at some point I figure the drive to cook really nice meals again will come back, that passion for, making something beautiful. I love making hot sauce, but I don't want to do anything else.
I love cooking.
Yeah.
And I'm the best chef for myself right now. I've been cooking better food now than I've ever cooked in my life. And I owe that to, the people I'm meeting at these markets. And then also man, I can't tell you how much I've learned from Instagram.
I know, right?
Yeah. The good thing about social media, damn, I'll take that recipe and mess with it, and now I've just made my family the ultimate feast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is fun.
Things are so more accessible now too. At least here I can go to so many different types of markets to get the things I need. There's a lot missing still. I was out in Toronto and they had everything you could ever imagine.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. I went to some spice shops and I was like, oh man, I am gonna bring home all sorts of different things.
Do spice shops in the United States even still exist? I can't think
Yes.
of the last time I walked into a place and there was just a wall of spices, high quality spices that you could just pick and choose from.
Yeah, there's some spots. There's Savory Spice out here, and they're a chain though too. There's a few spots. There's a lot in Portland. There's going to be a good amount of mom and pop spice spots. High artisanal.
I remember one in Eugene. It's usually a tea and spice shop that you'll see.
Yeah, Eugene's got some good little co-ops that have that stuff in it.
Yeah. So what's your favorite hot sauce that you've ever tried?
That changes a lot for me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, all right.
I liked most recently I really was enjoying Shaquanda stuff. Man, I hate being put on the spot, even though I was already prepared for this. I had it. I really love that the Queen Majesty Scotch bonnet was really delicious. Yeah.
Is that the one with the coffee?
No, not the one with coffee, the one with the Scotch bonnet.
Oh, okay. I thought that had that's habanero. That's red habanero and coffee.
Ginger, Scotch bonnet, and something.
That's right. I haven't tried that.
I like this Choi. It's a kimchi brand. It's Choi's out of Portland, but it's their gochujang. It's just like a plastic bag of gochujang that I just I love that stuff. It's funny too because I used to not be a big fan of sweet hot sauce, and now I just love all sorts of different sweet hot sauces.
Yeah.
I like a lot of hot sauces. I like Hot Mama salsa. Her stuff is really good. Marshall's is really good.
I like Marshall's.
Aardvark has a habanero, their green sauce that I really like.
Oh, I haven't had the green sauce at all.
Yeah, it's good. What else? Let's see.
I gotta say, I always say this about Aardvark. They were the nicest. When we first started up, I sent a couple messages through to them throughout Instagram. They were the nicest company of that size ever. Just unbelievable.
Yeah. I just spent a week with Stacy, the owner, out in Toronto, and she is so nice. We had a lot of meals together. We drank a lot of wine together. She is just a very kind soul, and has really taken me under her wing and helped me out a whole lot. And just it's really appreciative. She's like that's definitely someone I look up to in the hot sauce business.
That's nice to know.
Yeah. Oh, what else is good? There's so much good stuff. Oh, Funky's has this green sauce that I just love. God, it's Lunar something, I think. I forget the name. Maybe it's a Lucha one. It's on the mild side too. It's got a little bit of turmeric in it. and some roasted peppers. It's really delicious.
So I've been waiting for this. Labels. I just love your labels, man. And I mean, everybody talk. I'm a label guy. I love labels. I'm always talking about it. But your labels, um, my favorites, absolutely. And I
Thank
mean,
you.
you clearly put a lot of thought and effort. I love that you'll have the same sauce, but you'll come out with a limited label for that sauce. Oh, it's great.
The art part of this whole thing is really important because
Yeah.
I come from a crew of artists, graffiti artists. I mean, when I was 15 years old, I was facing 2 felonies, 22 misdemeanors for graffiti. And
Wow.
luckily I was able to they dropped all the charges. There's more to that story for some other time. And I was facing jail time. And I mean, I got away from it for a little while. I couldn't even like paint with my friends at like events where we were doing like breakdancing, DJing, and everyone's doing graffiti because the cops were they were there and watching. And
Oh,
so I couldn't even like pick up. I had to like, totally act like I had never painted before. And when I moved from that smaller town up to Portland, I really got heavily involved in it again. And I was like painting murals with all sorts of my crew members, and just it was like it's just a big part of my life. And so when I first started this business, I didn't even think about it. I don't know why. And then my brother, who's like the artist in our family, like I've learned, he taught me how to do graffiti, he taught me how to be a DJ. He designed the pineapple habanero label, the first one and the second one. Um, and then he started doing a few different things for me. And I was like, well, we got to get some other friends of ours on here. And then I just started going from there, like, oh, I should hit up so and so from this crew. And then like, oh, I've always followed what's his name. Let's reach out and see what happens. And then now it's like that's what we do. It's like we're gonna find the artist.
yeah.
Sometimes they'll give us something and we'll work from there. Sometimes they'll make suggestions on what kind of sauce they want me to make. So that's where things
Yeah.
changed too, because I was like, oh shoot, now people are asking me to make a certain type of sauce, and that's weird, but like it's great because it's challenging me. That's what we did with we did the sauce with atmosphere. We did 3 different sauces. And on the third sauce, his son wanted me to do something with maple. And so we did the Minnesota maple sauce, and it came out, in my opinion, it was so delicious. And I love when, when you get a sauce right on the first try. That was one of those sauces. And it's like when you're, because, all right, coming from the rap world too, you do a verse, you're recording your verse, and you'd be like a one take wonder if you get it down and record it on that first take. That's what I think is like when you get that sauce down on the first take, it's that one take wonder.
Yeah.
And all you got to do is scale up from there, and of course make the right adjustments or whatever. But man, I love when that happens. It makes
Yeah.
you feel like it was meant to be, instead of like I had to try so hard to develop this, which is totally fine. But man, there's nothing like getting it right on the first try.
Yeah, there's a different sort of satisfaction with each one. If you've worked on a sauce for 3 years and you nail it, it's like, oh, that was a lot of work. And man, I love this. That was so, it has a place in your soul.
Mm-hmm.
But that one that hits, out of the blue, it's like, that's fantastic.
The soy sauce was another one of those, and it was never meant to be what it became.
Yeah.
My brother, Ben, he's the one, he's the artist behind all this. Cujo Rock is what we call him. I mean, I call him Ben. He designed the soy sauce label because it was dedicated to my dad, who passed away. It was before my dad had passed. He was just getting a lot older. My dad made us nasi goreng when I was a kid. It's fried rice, Indonesian fried rice.
Yeah.
And like the soy sauce kind of was like a big part of that. And he made his spicier with different things, and I created that just to kind of tip my hat to my dad and make him something, and then it blew up. That bottle, that flavor just was the one. It still is like our best seller to date. It's the one, and it's also one of those sauces that does really well online and in person, but when people go to the grocery store, they're like, I have no idea what this is.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's it's got enough following here in Portland to where it's still in the stores, which is, well, it was great. But yeah, online and in person, man, people freak out about that sauce.
When you have a sauce like that breaks out, do
Yeah.
you feel like you're battling against that sauce with every sauce you make after that? Because I do. Our unicorn blood. I mean, and I sometimes I beat it, sometimes I don't. But that's
Yes. When I go to a market, I have 22 flavors right now. So I only usually bring 6 to 8. And that's still feel like that's a lot sometimes because I don't want to
yeah,
have
it is.
sample every single thing. But yeah, all the other ones battle against the soy sauce. But we created those 4-packs, these create your own 4-packs.
Yeah.
And so these sell more than anything. And so people put the soy sauce in there and then 3 other ones. So, but I'm definitely, when I go somewhere, I got to take twice as much soy sauce than anything else.
Yeah. We have to do that with the unicorn blood. It's the orange chipotle. Everybody wants it. That's the thing.
And now with the chili crisp,
Oh, I bet.
that's kind of taken the lead, which is blew my mind because I was like, oh shit. It changed shipping. Like now things don't ship as well and easy.
Oh, yeah.
And that really messed with me, but whatever, you gotta adapt, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you take care of your own shipping, or do you have other people do it?
I just started working with a fulfillment center like 2 weeks ago, because I going into the holidays, I wanted to, like I said, I want more free time. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So
that
I'm
makes
taking
sense.
steps, but it was just like a good timing, because I was going to be gone this whole week in Toronto too, and I was like, I like when I get an order, I like to ship it the next day, if not the day of. I think the customer loves that, and I want them to have it.
We used
And
to do that. I think we do Tuesdays and Fridays now.
yeah, we're competing with Amazon,
Yeah.
and like,
Yeah.
man, I love getting things quickly too myself.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no.
During the holidays, we'll definitely do it every day. But when we are in the off season, we send out Tuesdays and Fridays. It just got to be so hard to, it's easier to staff to pull somebody for 2 days.
Yeah, I don't have a staff. I have people who help me out at markets that I can call on. I don't want that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? In my structure. Yeah, this fulfillment center is going really well so far, and they've fulfilled a ton of things, and nothing's broken yet.
Oh, that's awesome.
I know. Wait till it's 20 degrees out next week, and then things start breaking.
Yeah, yesterday at farmers market, it was 20 for 4 hours yesterday. You were talking about being tired of farmers market. I love doing farmers market, except the day after yesterday, I'm like, I'm done with farmers market.
I'm a better, like, I'm a more special events guy, like we go do like odd shows, and that's cool. I can't stand doing those long hour shows. Like the trade show I was just at, I was just like, this is too much, man.
Yeah. It gets long and it's hard and your feet hurt, and yeah, I get it.
Even the hot sauce expo in Portland is so tough because it's on gravel, but I wouldn't change a thing about it because that is the best show out there.
I'm looking, I think we might try. I'm going to see if we can try and get in there this year.
Steve kills it, man. I have the most fun that I ever have is in that day, that weekend. It's so exciting.
That's awesome. Zach talked me into it. Zach was like, you need to do this one. You because I'm not a big, and he's like, no, this show is the one you got to do.
Labels. What was there anything else with labels you want to talk about?
No, I guess we had kind of run our course with that. I just was going to piggyback on what you were saying. I think the artist influencing the sauce is the one thing I never could have called that happening, and it happens more often than I could have ever thought. Recently, we did the lemon pepper, which is one of the sauces that I'm really proud. I knew I beat unicorn blood. I beat that sauce.
That.
I did it better. I'll send you one.
Cool.
And Allison Mosshart did the label for it, and it was originally going to be Serrano. And she paints on playing cards, and the Queen of Hearts, she says, I'm going to call it Queen of Hearts, and it's going to have the smoke coming out of the ears. And so she sent me the thing with the smoke coming out of the ears, and I was like, well, it can't be Serrano then. So I upped it to Hab, and man, I love that sauce. It's just a good sauce. It's for everything, and I love it. And went along, did a lot of work to make sure that came out exactly right. And now it's this beautiful sauce, and everybody walks up and sees the label and goes, that's the one I want.
Yeah, that's awesome. I can tell how passionate you are about it, and you got inspired. It's like that's when you get a good sauce. Like, and even if it isn't great to everybody, at least you were inspired.
Yeah. And
And,
the artist is too, if the artist is
Yeah.
satisfied, you've done something for somebody. I do that with all the artists now. I will give them minimal information and expect them. And I'm like, this may change my sauce.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. I don't even name them.
When does this air?
Oh, 2 to 3 weeks.
Cool. So I just worked on this with a artist friend of mine. It's a candied jalapeno. It's hard to see. And like I got some holographic stuff
Oh,
happening.
yeah.
Yeah. His sunglasses are holographic too. But like, yeah, I did these candied jalapenos, all with red jalapenos. Super small batch, like I don't know, not even 300 jars. It's mostly like, oh, let's see how it goes, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I can't get red jalapenos all year round.
Yeah,
so.
that's what I was gonna say. That's where you getting those, because that's hard to get.
Oh man, that was an intense. Was an intense jar to make because I did it all myself. I had a couple people helping me, but like I tried to get out all the seeds out as much as I could, because I didn't want it to look super seed heavy in here.
Yeah.
And we got those giant industrial salad spinners, and we're just like getting all those seeds out. Like it was
The
a fun one.
the big orange ones.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. We used to use those in
Yeah.
the restaurant business.
Yeah, and then I went to and then I was shaking it out with some other colander. And like,
Yeah.
It worked, and like it's funny. This one has to like sit for at least 12 days before it really sucks in all that candy flavor, and like, which is perfect for us because it's gonna sit around until we start selling it. We still got to label it and everything. But man, this is gonna be great. The artist, his name is They Drift. He shares a space with me at where I'm at, him and his wife do. And it was just inevitable that we would work on a label together. And I just got the idea for the holographic stuff. I was like, this would just look cool if we did that. And so it worked out, man. In person, this label looks
great.
so awesome, man.
I've got a question for you. So we're doing, and I'm surprised you haven't done this yet. So but we're doing a little comic to go with our we have a premium pack. I'm gonna send you the premium pack, but we're gonna I don't have the comics yet for it, but I'm surprised you haven't done a comic, or have you?
We had one started. I don't know what happened. So sometimes things fall off the radar, and working working with graffiti artists, friends of mine, and musicians, there's a lot of hiccups, and follow through isn't always the best. So that's the challenging part. But it was looking really cool too.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. It's hard. It's hard. Working with artists is the most satisfying and least satisfying part of my job.
Yeah.
So I totally agree. So inspiration, who, I think you maybe have already named this, but who in the hot sauce world inspires you? And I would say as a person, as a, just those people in the hot sauce industry that you look up to and want to move toward.
Yeah, I would say Sarah Marshall's hot sauce is a huge inspiration to me. Stacy Moritz from Aardvark has just been great. I mean, the information she shares with me to help me out is just amazing. It's awesome. And then Nikki from Hot Mama Salsa as well. I mean, she makes these flavors, and like the meals she's making at home that she posts and stuff like that, and just being an all-around awesome person. Those are the type of folks I strive to be, because I mean they're killing it, and like I really enjoy them as people.
Yeah.
It's not business first, it's human interaction and relationship before anything. And it's 3 women that are really moving and motivating me to do this. I feel like what they're doing is different than any other sauces out there, and I really enjoy and appreciate everything they've done for me.
Oh, that reminds me, by the way, just to go slightly in a different direction, but I loved that sauce. So I haven't tasted the sauce, and it's probably gone by now, but the one you did, what was the You know which one? You know I'm talking where I'm going with this. Was it Masculine Tears? Oh God.
Ghost of Masculine Pride.
Yes. Oh my God, that was great.
So every year I'm doing a different hot.
Yeah.
This was all started because of the Portland Hot Sauce Expo. I
Really?
knew I didn't have anything like super spicy, and there's always, every single time, especially at that event, there's gonna be the guy who comes up and says, "Give me your hottest sauce, give me
Yep.
the spiciest stuff," and it was always like that machismo guy, So it started off as being, every year Hab sauce is hot, and then it evolved into the machismo sauce. And so I did 2
Oh, I
years of
remember that one.
yeah,
Yeah.
I did 2 years of machismo sauces, and then a friend of mine, we were trying to come up with a new name for this recent one, and he was telling me the English version way to go, and it came out, and I heard him say it, and I was like, the Ghost of Masculine Pride, and just like we just went from machismo and then just made like an English version of it. So and it just sounded so funny to me,
That's
and I've
awesome.
gotten a little bit of hate mail
Oh yeah. I
from
saw
that.
some comments on your post. Yeah, we did that, something like that with we don't have it anymore. We just recently got rid of it, but we'd have those guys because we're in a college town too, and they'd come up and they'd be like, "What's the hottest sauce you got?" My wife goes, "Let's just mix 10 of these together and call it idiot sauce." And we did. It wasn't very hot, but it was really good. And so we added a ton of scorpion pepper to it and called it idiot sauce. So then these guys would walk up and say, "What's the hottest thing you got?" And we'd say idiot sauce. And they go, "Oh, that's for me." It was hilarious.
At first I was taking offense out of it a little bit because I just thought they were being, fratty kind of jerks.
Yeah.
Then over time I realized that there's a lot of the folks that just want a really spicy sauce who
Yeah.
are actually being genuine about it. It's hard for me to always like, okay, well, I'll make you something really hot. But every time I do it, I don't know why, it never ends up being as hot as I wanted to get. And it's okay because I can still eat it myself and it's great.
Yeah.
But it ends up being just a good gateway for them to try the sauces. And then next thing you know, they're trying all of them. Like they're like, oh my God, these are actually delicious. Because like
Yeah.
the Ghost of Masculine Pride it's about a 7 out of 10, if that. I don't even, it's hard to rate heat. But if I can eat it, then fine. Like I don't do the hot stuff myself
Yeah,
anymore.
me either.
Can't.
We did the victory sauce, which is, I mean, I don't know. It's pretty hot, but it's not. I can eat it barely, but I can eat it.
Yeah, I mean, I can eat fresh habaneros and stuff like that, and I enjoy it. But I don't. The pepper I really set myself at and stop is like with Thai chilies. Like I love Thai chilies. I'll eat them up, but usually it has to have a little bit of fish sauce with it too.
Yeah, yeah. But the seasoning helps. It makes it
Yeah.
better anyway. So yeah. The idiot sauce, that I'm glad you said that about the people who eat really spicy and just want it the hottest thing, because one of the reasons why we got rid of idiot sauce was because I felt like it was a negative and I wanted to go more positive. And so we changed it. We made our hottest sauce victory sauce.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with being machismo. It's just a way of life.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
when you
okay.
take it to a negative place that it's not cool.
Yeah. So we're just having fun. I mean, the Ghost of Masculine Pride wasn't supposed to be a political thing either, though. People took it the wrong way, and that's usually who takes it the wrong way.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine. It doesn't bother me. I don't lose sleep when I get hate mail. It kind of just motivates me, inspires me more.
No, we get some of that for we do a
unicorn blood.
The Pride version we do. We change it. Yeah, every year we change it to Pride.
Yeah.
And then a portion of the proceeds goes to the Trevor Project and our local organization, Inland Oasis. And so we get, especially here in Idaho, we'll get, "Oh, I'm not buying your sauces ever again. I'm throwing them all in the trash." I've gotten a few of those. And I'm like, sorry.
Yeah. Hey. That's all right.
Yeah. It always ends up creating more posts. I mean, I'm sure at some point there's a tipping point, but when people do that, ton of people will come on and say positive things, just completely. It's an avalanche of positivity that, wipes out what they said. So it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Hot sauce, hot takes. Do you have any hot takes? Something that other people, my big hot take, you're going to hate. My big hot take, you've heard it. I don't like Cholula. Just not a big fan. But it's because I grew up in Southern California and there were so many better sauces. My go-to of like the grocery store, table hot sauces was always Pico Pica. Had a little bit more balance to it and a little bit more flavor, but that's my hot take. What that everybody else likes that you maybe feel differently about?
Sriracha. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. People go ahead, it's great. But like I've noticed after, years of using sriracha that I don't want to make my pho any sweeter. I don't want to add any sugar to my pho.
Yeah.
And as much as I want to embrace, I grew up with sriracha. I bought a bottle not that long ago just because I was like, you know what? There's all that hype because of the shortage and everything. Everybody talking about it. And so I saw it on the shelf and it was like, $4. And I was like, yeah, okay. Let me take it home, try it out again. And I just was like, okay, it's not for me, but it's because our palates have grown and now we know, like I don't eat Cholula, but I will. I still like Tabasco. Tabasco has a buffalo sauce that's really good.
And their Chipotle is pretty, I hate to say it, their Chipotle is pretty damn good. It doesn't taste like Chipotle sauce, but it's good sauce.
I'm not a Chipotle fan unless it's fresh, like pepper, but it's okay. Like it didn't. This is why this flavor stuff is so subjective. We're all gonna like different things.
Yeah, absolutely.
But no, I think it's the sriracha thing, and if you're just loading up your pho with sauce, like especially like a sriracha or something like that, man, like what it's kind of like you're telling the people who were back there cooking that broth for 24 hours that their broth wasn't good enough and you got to sweeten it up. Like it's already so delicious. Don't mess with it, You add some jalapenos to it, that's fine. But like, that's just my idea.
I agree. I totally agree. You know what? I always think of a sriracha as if you close your eyes and think of sriracha, like when I make a meal for my wife, instead of saying, "Did you like that?" That's always so hard for somebody to answer that. They have to go negative if they don't like it or if there was something they didn't like. So I always say is, what would you change about that? So what would I change about sriracha? I would add some lemon. It just needs a little bit more brightness to it. It would take away some of that sweetness, just a touch of it. And I think that would make it a completely different and really wonderful sauce.
I don't have any complaints about it other than that I've learned to not use it in certain things.
Yeah.
I love a sriracha mayo. I'd love to like mayo. I will use it for certain things, but I just know now that there's other things out there that I can, really use to make something taste really good.
Have you had this?
Have the option. If you don't have the option, go for it.
Oop, there we go. Have you had this? This is the original. I don't know if I
can't see it, but
there we go. It's in Thai. I don't even know what the name of it is, but it's the original sriracha. It's not as sweet.
Oh,
it's a little bit more, and it's got more. They're doing a little more fermentation. You can taste it, and I don't know what kind. Because it's in Thai. I don't know what kind of chilies they're using, but this is the original. So I don't know. It's worth trying at least once.
I hear there's a segment that we're gonna try another sauce.
Yeah.
Yes, this is what I've been looking forward to.
All right, let's do that.
Jump to it.
Yeah, you go first.
Okay. So my travels to Toronto, I met up with this DJ, Scratch Bastard, who is just like super dope DJ. And he's got some hot sauce. And then he has a jerk sauce that he gave me. And I love me some jerk sauce. So I haven't tried it yet, and I was really looking forward to giving it a taste.
And this is out of Toronto. Oh, that is, yes. What's the name on it?
Scratch Bastard. It's with a K.
Oh, I think I've seen that somewhere.
Oh my God. That is so good. I mean, that's jerk chicken right there. I mean,
it's one of my favorite things.
I've had more jerk chicken this last week than I've ever had in my life, and I'm not disappointed with that at all.
Absolutely. Well, I've got Halogi, Serpent's Curse. Yeah. I haven't had this yet.
Just hit me.
I think it's gonna be hot, dude.
That was a creeper then.
Yeah, I figured it's gonna light me up a little bit. Matter of fact, I'm gonna use a spoon.
Yeah, it's gonna light you up a lot.
I've learned to do the milder sauces when we do this because it gets hard to talk. But that's what editing's for, right? 5 minutes of like.
Nick doesn't fuck around with the sauces, so it's gonna be hot as fuck.
That's delicious, though. Holy moly!
What you got, Zach? You got some sauce?
Oh, excuse me. I do. I have this called Alvin's.
Alvin's.
I don't know. Brian Amp sent it to me. It's like a Caribbean style sauce.
If Brian sent it to you, it's gonna light you up.
No, that's not entirely true.
That's true.
First ingredient is Scotch bonnets, though.
Oh, it's gonna be so good.
Chunky.
There was some Scotch bonnet in this jerk too.
I do not like that. Not a big like pepper forward guy. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know.
What else is in it?
It's Scotch bonnet's first ingredient, followed by papaya, but with papaya being the second ingredient, it's not very sweet. And
you gotta play with papaya
garlic
to make it work.
Yeah, and it's got mustard, garlic. It's got yellow 5 in it though.
Yellow number 5.
Yeah.
That brings me to a hot take that I was thinking about earlier. I purposely used MSG in the chili crisp I made. It's
yes. Oh man, that makes me like you so much. I mean, I already thought you were a great guy.
It was it was a fuck you to a lot of people. You know what I mean? I get it, but at the same time, it wasn't a fuck you to everybody because there's a lot of people who just don't know yet.
Yes.
And it took a little bit of education to like figure out that, that and then, to think about the whole story behind MSG and the racism that it's just like, wow. And so I put MSG in it. I've had a few conversations. Most people, because I'm in Portland, get it and they have no problem with it. I like anything else, just got everything in moderation, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And the other things that's special I should mention about that seaweed, the chili crisp, is there's seaweed in it, Oregon seaweed.
Yeah.
And it was something I've always wanted to play with, and I had the opportunity to, so I did it, and I made it. That's what took a while to figure out too in it, because it started off with fresh seaweed. I moved to a dried. They had to dry it for me because it was a hot mess. So once we figured it out, man, it added more of that umami punch to it. But yeah, MSG. Like I love MSG. No problem with it.
In other cultures, they use it like salt. It's on their tables.
Yeah. What gets me is when somebody writes on their packaging or on their window, MSG free. We proudly don't have MSG. Like, we proudly don't have, okay. But that just means they don't know yet. And it's going to take a little more time and education for them to figure it out, I guess.
So we have a Korean style sriracha we do with gochugaru and lemon and soy sauce. But the original run, I took it off for the exact same reasons you mentioned, but I put on there proudly contains MSG on my bottle.
Nice.
And I sent that.
You have it?
I don't know if I might still have a couple of those labels. If I do, I'll send you one.
Oh, cool.
But Kenji Lopez Alt, have you read that article he wrote on it?
I don't know if I read that specific article on it.
He's got a great article on MSG. You probably, if you were researching it, that's one of the first ones that usually comes up. And I sent him a picture of that on the side of the bottle when I first did it, and I said, "This is your fault." So yeah, really.
I have another
cool.
one. I want to come out with an MSG like it's gonna be called MS Jesus. So I'm taking it a step further than what I already did, because that's how much I like messing with people. I don't really like messing with people. I do a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, you do. It's
fun.
okay.
You're right.
It's okay. We don't think any less of you.
It's so much fun, though.
We might think a little more of you, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
I mean, us too.
Oh man! If you get this, you can get it in Canada. You can get it on his website. It's DJ Scratch Bastard. It's with a K, but if you look him up on Instagram, Scratch Bastard with a K. I mean, his DJing, his turntablism is ridiculously great.
So do you have any questions for us?
Why are you doing a podcast?
Don't get me fucking started. I'm doing it. I'm here. Okay, because someone wouldn't leave me the fuck alone about it.
That's
You
me.
don't even like talking to people, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
So this is why it dawned on me one day. I don't know if I've ever told you this, Zach, but this was the whole reason I wanted to do this is we would get really mad about these cowboy hot sauce companies making our industry look bad because they just don't care, and they would just start making sauce and they would do it in their backyard or their garage or wherever, and it wouldn't matter. And granted, we all started out that way, but some people just don't care and keep doing it even when they've been told otherwise. And we would talk, Zach and I would get on the phone and talk for hours sometimes like this. And I thought, why don't we turn the tables on this, do a podcast where we can talk about these things with people that are doing it the right way. And when these new people are coming along, they'll see this as just the way you do it. And then step in line and start doing things the way, using a process authority, taking care of business the way you're supposed to, getting the better food processing license, doing all those steps that we all did eventually,
Some of them will, some of them won't.
Yeah. But if we promote that positive side, it's more likely we're going to have more people following in line and doing it. Plus, you remember how hard it was finding information? It was so hard. So if we're doing a podcast where we're giving out information, hey, with other hot sauce companies, it's great.
I mean, there's so much information I used to share with so many different people.
Yeah.
Sure, you've all had that bad experience where someone completely takes advantage of your information.
Yep.
And it, sometimes it's personal and it like affects you, but then like when you really think about it, it's just like, well, you know what? It's just fucking hot sauce.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
End of the day, like, what are we gonna do? I mean, but I want people to have good information. I don't want them getting people sick. I think the influx of hot sauce is a good thing. I'm just one other guy who started a hot sauce business in Portland, not knowing what I was doing. And people actually helped me, in ways. I did a lot of my own research to figure all that out. Yeah. But I mean, when someone needs help, I try my best to give them a good direction to go. I don't give them all the information anymore because I feel like that's too much of a shortcut. You need to do the research.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's part of reaping the benefits of having a business is actually putting in the time and work.
I think part of I agree totally with you that they have to do the work, but I also think that one of the hardest things I had was getting good research, getting good information, finding the information I needed when I would hear so many, if you talk about how to bottle and, using the hot fill hold method, you'll have 10 other guys jumping in going, oh, you don't need to do that because and they sound like they totally know what they're doing and don't.
Yep.
And that's the hardest part about that. And that's kind of why I thought if we did this podcast, it would be a positive way of having real successful companies coming in and saying what they're doing.
Man, I remember cleaning every bottle,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's the information you found,
Did you buy a handy filler?
Yes, I did buy a handy filler.
The shitty handy filler that didn't work, like $300 or $400 for a 3D printed, basically piston filler.
Oh no, I did not get that. No. I went a route that was pretty cool. I used a fermenter just with a spout.
Oh,
and like people are. I mean, I know people still doing that in a commercial kitchen, and it's working really well for them, and that's just the way it is because they don't have that piston filler. Because like I feel like if you have a piston filler, it's got to be at least a 3 spout piston filler for this production to really work. Like one spout piston filler is going to save you a little bit of time, but not enough.
Yeah,
that's not entirely true, my friend.
As Zach just switched over to piston filler.
So it's that much faster, but I mean, because you're still touching the bottle a bunch.
True. However, I mean, granted, right now I'm doing it myself. If I had someone capping bottles, I could easily put out 24 bottles a minute, 24 to 30 bottles a minute.
I just still feel like 3 at a time is the way to go. Especially if you're going to invest that much in a piston filler. But you can probably mock yours up eventually, right?
I mean, I could connect it directly to the kettle, and it'll save me from having to pull product off the kettle
Oh
and
yeah, that's
putting
nice
it in the
too.
hopper.
I
Yeah,
like
that
those
is
setups.
nice.
We're not there yet either. We're not.
We we could we chose not, or I chose, I should say, not to get one of the cheap Chinese fillers off eBay. We used a company here in the United States, Apex Filling Systems, and if it ever gets into a position where we can then automate our fill system,
Mhm.
like they will automate my current machine, and yeah, it may only do one bottle at a time, but out 30 bottles a minute. That's a lot of sauce every hour.
We're still using a beer kettle
Yeah.
on a stove. But it's 30 gallon, so it's we get through quite a bit. The gravity does a lot.
The hand fillers that you're holding too, those are crazy. People were, I know Sarah Marshall does a lot of her stuff like that, and I always respect that. I'm like, wow, my shoulder would be done by the end of the day using that thing.
Like the
Yeah.
pancake filler,
Yeah.
pancake batter thing.
I love those things for when I'm doing, the small test runs and stuff like that. They're great, but I couldn't imagine doing, 200 bottles like that.
I was wondering about that if they didn't just do those for videos.
No.
Really? Wow.
But she only makes the amount of hot sauce that she needs. Like, so her stuff's always really pretty fresh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. I ordered some a couple of years ago. I haven't done it in a while. I stopped ordering hot sauce for a while until we started this podcast, and I've been kind of like, it's like after not watching movies for a couple of years, you suddenly watch movies, and it's like I don't have a time to watch all this. Now I don't have time to order all these hot sauces. Like, holy moly, it's great.
It's great to
Yeah.
figure out hot ones. Like, that's great.
Any other questions?
I have none. I mean, what are you guys making for dinner?
Either oatmeal or eggs, dude. Come on now.
You can do oatmeal and eggs right now.
I can't eat anything, dude.
Yeah. You got an immersion blender, just blend it down.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm not trying to like blend down steak.
No, that wouldn't be good.
No.
No.
Yeah, you're right. It doesn't sound good at all.
No.
You know what? I had a burger. I'm pretty good for the rest of the evening.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it for me, I think.
I'm gonna carve some pumpkins going.
Oh, that's right.
Couple hours, so it should be fun. So
I think that's what we're gonna do too. We just went to the pumpkin patch. So hey, David, I gotta tell you, when you're talking about some of the people in the business that are so like when they ask me what my favorite, Charman, High Desert, you, those are my big three, and I can't leave out Secret Aardvark because they were the sauce that really drove me in the early days, and still do in a lot of ways. It's just a perfect sauce.
that means a lot. I really appreciate it. You guys have been great, since I've known you for years.
Thank you. Well,
I don't know about that, but
we've had our
I'll take
moments.
it.
Come on, we've had our
take it.
moments.
I would like to formally apologize. Usually, I'm a little more lively during these episodes, a little more talkative. I'm just 100% right now. So
I understand. It's all good.
I feel like you did not get the full experience. So we're gonna have to have you back.
That's
I think that sounds like a good idea. Yeah, I seriously had to edit the questions because I had so many. I've had a bunch of your sauces and loved them, and I could have gone way deep into them. So thank you very much, man. You have a good one now. Enjoy carving pumpkins.